had a moment several months ago that has stuck with me. I was talking to someone, just getting to know each other, and she said something along the lines of, I'm really not looking for more friends. And I remember pausing for a second, not because I was offended, but because it felt honest. So I kind of laughed and said, same. And what stayed with me wasn't what she said, it was how true it felt for me too. And honestly, it made me like her more because I thought, she's real, she's honest. And that's actually hard to come by because I started thinking about it. When you're younger, it's all about how many friends you have, how big your circle is, how many plans you're in. More always felt better. But somewhere along the way, that shifts. You grow up. Life gets full in the best and hardest ways. You have work, you have family, you have kids, responsibilities, travel, stress, all of it. You're in the middle of building your life and living it at the same time. And suddenly, it's not about how many people you know, it's about who actually matters. Welcome to this episode of Fit Fueled Female. I think there's this unspoken tension there because you don't want to sound closed off. You don't want to come across like you're not open or like you're too good for new friendships, but that's not what this is. It's not about being closed off, it's about being intentional. And I also want to say this: I am so incredibly grateful for the friendships I have in my life, the people who have been there for years, the ones who have grown with me, the different circles I'm lucky enough to be a part of. I don't take that for granted for 1 second. And I'm not saying this from a place of, I have some exclusive circle and you have to qualify to be in it. That's not it at all. This isn't about being selective in a harsh way. It's really just about being real. Because the truth is, it's not possible to have it all. It's not possible to be everything to everyone. And it's not possible for every relationship to be deep. And that doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you closed off. It just makes you honest. It makes you value real, deep friendships. And you also understand that some relationships are kind of just meant to be lighter, more surface level, more situational, and that's okay as long as you're clear on what it is and what it's not. Because I'm not saying my friendship book is closed. Of course, I'm open to meeting new people, to being friendly, to building relationships with people who align with where I am in life, people who share similar values, similar priorities, similar seasons. That kind of connection, that's meaningful. But what I am saying is it's okay to be a little more guarded. It's okay to not let everyone in because not every connection is meant to turn into access. Not every conversation needs to turn into a friendship. And I think this shows up a lot, especially when you have kids. You're constantly meeting new people, your kids' friends, parents, school events, activities, and there's almost this unspoken pressure that, like, you should all become friends too. But the truth is, we don't have to be best friends with everyone we come across. And I say that with a lot of respect because I've met some really amazing people through my kids. Some of those relationships have turned into real friendships, and I'm so grateful for that. And others, just surface level, and that's okay too. But somewhere along the way, I had to let go of the expectation. I stopped assuming every interaction needed to become something more. My kids are going to have friends, and those friendships will come and go. And naturally, so will some of the relationships around them. And when you release that pressure, I think it actually feels lighter because you're not forcing anything. You're not overcommitting. You're not saying yes just because you feel like you should. Because the reality is, you can't say yes to everything. There just isn't enough time. Between work and family and trying to take care of yourself, your time matters too much. And for me, when I'm in, I'm in. When I have a friend or a circle or people who mean something deeply to me, I am an all in friend. I will give you everything I have. And at this stage, it's just not about having more people in my circle. It's kind of about having the right ones. And I think part of this too is recognizing that we don't just have one circle. And I think about this a lot when it comes to different circles in my life because, like I said, I'm really lucky. I have a group of girls here in Texas that I've built friendships with over the past 8 years, and they're my people. We were out recently all together, and someone made a comment about how envious they were of our group. They said how hard it is to find something like that, and it stuck with me because I've heard people refer to groups like ours as cliques before, but that's really not what it is. It's not exclusive, it's not closed off, it's just real. We've all come from different walks of life, and somehow it just works. We connect as a group, but we also connect one on one. There's depth there, there's trust there, there's history being built. And what really stayed with me is this: what we have is actually really hard to find. And I see that across all of my friendships, whether it's my friends from years ago, the ones who have known me through different seasons, or one of my closest friends who I might not see often, but when we do, it's like no time has passed. Or even newer friendships in my neighborhood that I initially had zero expectations for, and they just naturally happened. And I think that's the point. The best friendships, they're not forced, they're not over engineered, they're not built because you feel like you should make them work. They just fit. And that doesn't mean other people can't come into your life too. It just means that when something like that exists, you protect it. You're intentional with it because you know how rare it actually is. We all have different circles, and I think that's healthy. We have the people who have been in our lives forever, the ones who know every version of us. We have newer relationships, people we've met more recently in this season. We have work circles, mom circles, different groups from different chapters. And for me, each of those circles matters, but they're not all the same. And I'm always open to letting someone in a circle or even starting a new one, but it has to be intentional. And if I'm being honest, mixing circles can be a little comical because some people overlap really naturally and some absolutely do not. And that's okay. Not everyone needs to fit into every part of your life. So I've started thinking about my circle a little differently, not in terms of how big it is, but in terms of how it feels. Because just because someone has access to you doesn't mean they're aligned with you. And alignment isn't just about having things in common, it's way deeper than that. It's how someone shows up, it's how you feel around them, it's whether your values actually match the way you're living your life right now. Because the truth is, you can be around someone often, you can like them, you can have history, and still feel like something is off. And most of us, I think, ignore that. But alignment feels different. It feels easy. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to filter or perform. You're just you. And one of the biggest indicators of alignment is this: do they celebrate who you are? Or do you feel like you have to manage how you show up around them? And this isn't about labeling people as good or bad. It's just recognizing that not everyone is meant to be in your circle in the same way. Some people are acquaintances, some people are situational, some people are passing through, and a few are your people. And when you recognize that, you stop trying to make every relationship fit into a space it was just never meant to fill. So, for your power move this week, here's what I want you to do: take a step back and look at your circles, not based on history, not based on proximity, but based on how it feels. Who feels easy? Who feels aligned? Who leaves you feeling better and not drained? And just notice where you might be holding on to something out of habit instead of intention. So, what's been fueling me lately? Honest, real conversations. The kind where you can say what's actually on your mind, where you can tell a friend, hey, something feels off, or have a hard conversation and still walk away not questioning the relationship. Because real friendships, they allow that. They allow transparency, they allow honesty, and they allow trust. And lately, that's just meant everything to me. Because the moment I feel like I can't be real with someone is the moment I start to question, is this really the kind of friendship I need in my life right now? Usually, the answer is no. So, if there's one thing I want you to take from this, it's this: you don't need more people in your life. You just need the right ones. The ones that feel aligned, the ones that feel easy, the ones that allow you to be fully, honestly you. And it's okay to protect your circle just as much as it's okay to grow it. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Stay fit, stay fueled, and stay real. I'll see you next time.